see the Olympic Winter Games on the networks of NBC Universal.
Yeah, well, basically what my sister did for me is I was sick during the trials and wasn't able to compete in all the races. And so she made the team, and then she gave up her spot so that I could go and compete. You know, it meant everything in the world to me. I just don't know how to put into words, you know, what she did for me, and I hope I can do my best to represent her in USA. You know, I think there's no greater honor to be an Olympian and to represent the United States, so I'm really excited to put on that USA jersey and compete for my country.
Hey, Happy New Year. This is the first edition of Gun Stuff in 2026. Hey, we got a great year planned and a great show for you today. Appreciate you guys being here. You know, Gun Stuff is dedicated to arming America, one law-abiding citizen, and that describes you, I'm hoping. Our show today, Mantis Training Systems. Hey, there's no excuse now, you know, come rain or shine. Of course, we've got some rain out here. It's wrecking havoc in our studio with the lighting. But hey, whether it's raining or shining, Mantis is there to help you train. Then Black Armor Guns. And also Lanny Oakley. You saw that cold open. Lanny Oakley, Annie Oakley, or Lanny Barnes, a.k.a. Lanny Oakley. Olympic Biathlete is going to be here opening our show in just a few minutes. And then the National Association of Gun Rights. I appreciate having these guys here, people that really know a little bit more about the Second Amendment. I just saw coming through the news desk, California appeals court, something swung our way. Now, I don't know if that's going to last or not, but they say that open carry should be constitutional in California. And here to make sense of it all is Chris Kuper. Thanks, Chris, from the National Association of Gun Rights. Now, should I be happy in California? What's going on in California?
I don't know if anyone should ever be completely happy in California other than the weather. Having lived there a little bit myself, you know, you can get your hopes up for a long time, but it is promising to see that some of the Bruin level arguments are making their way down and people are starting to make the right decision on it. This one's interesting, you know, because it's two Trump appointed judges that are siding in this. The original law, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know a ton about this, but it was originally that you couldn't carry in counties that had over 200,000 people in it. But if you know California, that's like 95% of the state. You know, so this went back all the way to the 60s when they first started banning, you know, concealed carry and personal carry. A lot to do with, you know, the Black Panthers going out and doing events and things like that. And they were like, maybe we need to prevent people from carrying. So the other news out of California, which is interesting as well, is that there's been two positive rulings on overturning the need to have a background check on purchasing ammo. So if you take a step back, that's where California is. Not only can you not...
You mean they make you do a background check? I don't understand that. You got to help me, Chris.
Well, I mean, you know, this is part of the scheme that a lot of blue states go through. Is if they can't outright ban firearms, you know, then what they do is they just make it as hard as possible to actually exercise it. And not having bullets is a pretty bad thing when you're trying to actually exercise and when you're trying to actually shoot. It's like banning gasoline but saying you can keep your car. That's great, and yeah, I mean, it looks great and you're safe. So there's right now what's happening though is that they went down in one court, then they went to the appeals court, but now that actually is going to en banc, which means that's going to be all of the judges from California in that circuit that are going to be meeting on this. And this is kind of known as like a kill zone.
So now that's for the background check on ammo.
Yeah.
So that means a background check? I mean, that's kind of like, don't we have to get background checks just to buy a gun, but now they're going to do it for ammo? So you can't just walk into Walmart anymore and buy it, right?
No, I mean, and that's why a lot of us, have been against background checks in general. Not that the goal isn't, let's say well-intentioned, but how often do we hear well-intentioned with, paired with an infringement? As soon as you start letting these sorts of things fly, then they work their way all the way down to ammunition. One of the interesting things about this is not just that they've succeeded so far in this case, but that the DOJ has actually stepped in and sided, all right, with the plaintiffs and said, hey, this is a gross overstep, and this needs to be overturned. You don't often see, historically, the DOJ getting involved in some of these things, so it's really nice to be able to see them get in there. And they wrote a pretty scathing amicus brief on this, and the last thing that it stops with says, a law designed to antagonize the Second Amendment definitionally does not comport to its principles. And that's a really nice way to put that up, because they're coming out and they're saying, we know what you're doing. We know that you can't win on the merits. So what you're doing is you're going around and making it as hard as possible for everybody to exercise it. If you have to go and get background checked and you have to pay for the background check every single time you buy ammunition, it's just meaning that less and less people are getting involved. If you have to permit your weapon and then you have to go through the background check and you have to wait around and maybe you won't even be able to carry and you probably won't be able to, and then you have to get background checked every time you fire, it's really just, death by 1,000 cuts on that.
So Boy Scouts on summer camp, they want to go out and have some 22 rounds and get trained in Boy Scout camp. They got to go through a background check.
Yeah, I mean that becomes a much bigger issue, because I don't think they'd even be able to in California.
Yeah, because
I don't even know if Boy Scouts exists in California anymore. It barely exists anywhere else. I think it's just called Scouts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I grew up. I mean, I was shooting 12 gauge and 9mm in the Boy Scouts at age 9 and 10. You gotta, they're going to hit on every single angle. So yeah, I can't imagine that's going on.
Now about this open carry, going back to that, do you think people are going to be doing much open carry in California?
History has showed us when you lower the barrier to entry, that a lot more people participate. So for example, I live in Tennessee, which is, for all intents and purposes, a constitutional carry state, meaning I don't have to get a permit at all to carry. And that's been one of the things at NAGR that we've focused on for almost 20 years now, is going state to state to state and pushing states to pass constitutional carry. And every time that we've seen it happen, a lot more people start to get involved. They start buying more firearms. They start getting more training, which is also the opposite of what our detractors would say. They go, oh, well, at least you have to have training. Well, more people, when they realize they can, they actually go out and they train. It's the specter of all the legal hoops that you have to go through. I mean, nobody likes going to the DMV. You put it off. The only reason you go is because you'll get arrested if you don't have all your stuff in order. But if people think about, oh, I have to go to a DMV for guns in order to do it, they put that all the way in the background. So,
well, I guess that's their whole objective, to make it as inconvenient as possible. In Ohio, when they passed open carry, the stats, I think, already show that it's a safer place. There are less gun violence, and because people are protecting themselves. Now, we got less than a minute to go here before our break. Chris, tell our folks about how they can be a part of the National Association of Gun Rights, please.
Well, you can go to our website, which is gunrights.org. You can find us on X at Gunrights or Facebook or anything else. And really, a lot of people say, I don't have the money to join or whatever else. Just get plugged in. We give you updates on when the Congress is passing laws, when your state is trying to pass something that might be a little bit pernicious. So get plugged in and stay up to date.
Well, that sounds great. Now, Chris, I'm going to ask you to stick around through the break and help us out today. And we're going to hear more from Chris Kuper from the National Association of Gun Rights. Thanks so much. Hey, you folks stick around. There's more to come from Gun Stuff.
There's a kind of strength you can't buy or borrow. It's born in the fire, tempered by sacrifice, and carried by those who never stopped serving. Some heroes wear uniforms. Others wear scars. They're veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. Men and women who gave everything and still keep giving. At the Warrior Shield Foundation, we stand beside them, shoulder to shoulder, providing the support, the care, and the community they deserve. We're a proud non-profit, a 501c3, built to protect those who protect us. We don't just serve our own. We help other non-profits reach their missions too, because together, we make the Shield stronger. Donate and help our cause, help their cause, because every act of kindness builds hope where the battle still rages inside. Join the mission. Donate today. Visit warriorshield.org, because heroes deserve a foundation as strong as their sacrifice.
Hey, Chris, glad that you can stick around and help us out. You're pinch hitting for Ursula, who's on the road. Scott, glad to have you. How are things going in my old state of Kentucky?
Everything's going good. We've had good weather, and so I have plenty of time out shooting, and so everything's going well for now. We're just waiting for the cold to just really roll in. So.
Hey, Chris, I was telling you before the show, you know, we are really trying to emphasize the shooting sports and give people a way to find out what's going on. And Scott, tell Chris, let me see if I can find it. I think I've got it here someplace. Tell Chris a little, and our viewers, about our new database.
Yeah, so you can go to GunStuffTV and you can see where all the shooting sports, we have videos of firearms and different events that we've been to on the page, but the main thing is that you can go under events, hit the drop down menu on events, and it will give you the largest listing of firearm shooting events in the country. So that's the main thing we're trying to do, trying to get these out there. So if you have events, you can send them in to us or whatever, and we can put them on the list. But the main thing is we just want to get people out and get them shooting and exercising their rights, and this is the easiest way to do it.
Tell our viewers what they're looking at here.
Oh, yeah, this is a latest stage from Legion Run and Gun. We went and did a video on Legion Run and Gun, and this is one of the stages that you had to, this was stage 2, and you start in the car, they had a mechanism, lifted the car up and blew some kind of powder everywhere like it was a big IED went off and then drops. So then you got to engage the threats, get out, and then you have to get down range and engage the threats that are long range with the rifle. And you had 10 close range and you have 10 long range, and it's just get out and get it done as fast as you can. It's a pretty quick stage, but the whole Legion race, this was the first time that they had run it later in the year, so it was a cold day, so that was the biggest thing about the event this year. But it was just an outstanding event, and we love it, and we'll be always going to it.
So these events,
Yep.
they're not closed to the public. Anybody can get involved.
Yep.
And the way to find out about it is go to GunStuff.tv and search for an event near you, right?
Yep. And the reason I like doing these is because it's just with you bring what you have and you go through, and every stage is always a surprise. You don't know what you're going to get put into, and you got to fight your way through it. And that's what I like about it.
Now, you have to have a gun when you're out there. And Scott, our firearm of the day, I think you probably have one sitting around here. We've got it here too. This is the G3 Toro. And Scott, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this is a Taurus G3, and this comes with a Viridian red dot that fit right on there. The red dot is the RFX2, fits on there, nice slim profile. But this Taurus G3 comes in 9mm. It comes with two 15-round mags. Has a safety on the side here. and the front slide serrations. Has aggressive texturing on the grip, so you're going to be able to maintain a good grip on it. It has pick rail, but the most interesting thing about this firearm is that it has the restrike capability. So after you fire, once you fire a round, just like in the stage that we just showed, I pulled the trigger and one of the rounds didn't go off. I had to tap, rack, and then pull the trigger again. With this one, you can pull the trigger, and then if it doesn't go off, you can pull the trigger again, which is a really good feature. And one of the things I really like. Maybe it would have saved me a second or two, but you never know.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but, maybe it would have took a couple seconds off my time, but this is a great pistol and excellent for carry. So
Chris, we got 15 seconds. People like the red dots. In this case, it's a green dot, right,
Yep.
Chris?
Yeah, I actually like green dots. Taurus was the first pistol I ever owned. It was affordable. It got me into carrying. I loved it.
Well, I tell you what, $289, $179 is what the red dot sells for. In this case, the green dot, and it's yours. Well, we saved a few back just for you folks that are watching our show here. Hey, now stick around. There's more to come from Gun Stuff. Hey, well, welcome to the show, Lanny Barnes. Lanny, I don't know if you were surprised or not. You saw yourself there at the cold open of the show. We're proud of you. Have you figured that out yet? We look at you, we envy you. You're athletic, you're charismatic, and you're doing everything to promote the Second Amendment. How did that happen, Lanny? Did you just grow up with lead in your veins or what?
Well, first off, Chris, thanks so much for having me on the show. I love being on with you guys. You guys are so much fun to be, to talk with. I may have a little bit of lead in my veins. I've done a lot of shooting over the years, and I've just been very fortunate to have a father and a family that have really promoted firearms and shooting, and really just in general, trying to shoot for your dreams and make the most of whatever you got.
What do you think, Lanny? This is the first time you've seen it. I don't know if you had a chance during the break to look at our website, but what do you think about our idea of having a central clearinghouse for all of the events? Don't you think it's a great idea to get people involved?
Absolutely. I think it's amazing. I'm probably going to be your number one fan on your website, visiting it every day to find new competitions. Really, there's no excuse for people not to find something that they might enjoy. There's so many different kinds of competitions out there, and what's great is that you guys put them all together in one place, because it's hard to. There's different websites around the country that will be focused maybe on shotgun or action shooting or something like that, and this is absolutely amazing to have everything in one place.
Chris, our objective is to make the shooting sports accessible to everybody, but we really need someone like the NAGR, National Association of Gun Rights, to stand up for us, because these politicians are trying to do everything they can to take our rights away. Chris?
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the gun community tacitly know about competitions, and they're like me, not a very good shot. Unlike Lanny, who's good at skiing and shooting, I'm good at neither of those things. But one of the things that's helpful is just get out there and do it. If you haven't been to a competition, you'd be surprised at how many people it's their first time when they go. You're not going to get last place probably. And if you're worried about it, you can do what a lot of us do, get together with some guys from church or whatever else, and someone who's got some land, and just go practice. It's a great way to get to know people and exercise your right.
Well, Lanny, we got some great footage of you. When did you switch to Lanny Oakley? It's kind of a nickname, is that right?
Yeah, so my dad gave me the nickname Lanny Oakley when I was a kid. He was very supportive of my twin sister and I in shooting, and he gave me the nickname. He gave us a quarter for every time we hit the bullseye, so that kind of gave us motivation to improve. And yeah, I mean, after I retired from the Olympics, switched to Lanny Oakley and just started living the dream in the shooting world.
Yeah, and that's a great idea. It's for all of our kids, a quarter for every hit. That's a good payment. That's for sure. Yeah.
We got a lot of media here, and I'm going to let you kind of tell us what we're looking at. Are you pistol, rifle, or both, or any, or all the above?
Right here in this photo, I'm shooting a box-fed shotgun at the Shotgun World Championships in France a while back, and representing Team USA.
No kidding. And there's something happened to this photo. I see two competitors. They look just about the same. Who are these folks?
Yeah, you guys aren't seeing double, so don't worry about that. That's my twin sister and I at the Torino 2006 Olympics in biathlon, cross-country skiing and rifle marksmanship.
I can't tell you how many times, Scott, I've been out at SHOT or NRA, and I think I'm talking to Lanny, and I'm talking to somebody else.
Yeah, I tell you, and I've made the same mistake. But one of the things I have to say is that when I was in the military, we did a biathlon skiing when we went through our cold weather package, and it is, I mean, the fact that you guys did this is impressive, because it killed me. I quite literally died. This is my ghost talking right now, because I died out there doing that, and it's an amazing event.
So that your sister's name is Tracy, is that right?
Correct. Yeah, Tracy Barnes, and we grew up doing everything together, and went through a really long and arduous Olympic career in biathlon.
And speaking of double trouble, we got it right here. We got some footage. The road to Russia. So you guys have been competing side by side for a long time.
We have, yeah. I think we've been very fortunate because, not that many people have their best friend and biggest competition with them every single day. And we had that. And so I think that really helped push us to improve and get better. If there was a day where I was like, I just want to sleep in, I'm tired, I'm sore, Tracy's like, nope, let's get going. And then, same for when she was not feeling up for it. We motivated each other to keep pushing.
Now, was your mom a shooter too?
She wasn't, but she was very supportive and a great, incredible role model. She was a teacher for just under 30 years and was one of those teachers you either loved her or hated her, because she was probably the hardest teacher you'd ever have.
And we got more footage here. Where's this?
That's at the Sochi Olympics in Russia in 2014.
You're a world traveler. Incredible. And this is the same one, right?
Yeah. So the Sochi Olympics, it's just like a lot of different sports. Biathlon, Scott, you were saying how difficult it is. I think it's one of the hardest sports in the world. And for the Olympics and World Cups that we were competing in, they tried to make the courses harder and harder and the venues harder and harder to make it good for TV, but it really made it really challenging on the athletes, because you were either going straight up or straight down and then coming into the shooting range and just, trying to hang on and get your hits before you had to head out again.
Yeah, and the main thing is that you're in, all these events have to take place in the mountains, because that's you have to have the snow and everything, and so it is just amazing how hard it is just to get around. And then when you're up at altitude, you can't breathe. I mean, you get a little used to it, but still, it's so hard to just keep air moving in your lungs when you're up that high.
Yep. And I think a lot of people don't understand that in biathlon, I hear from people every time they say, oh, well, you must have to calm your heart rate. Well, in biathlon, we shoot with a heart rate around 180 beats per minute. And the reason why is because, if you think of an EKG, the more time between beats, the more it equates to more barrel movement. So the less time between beats, at 140, your barrel's going to go like this. At 180, it's going to be just a little tiny hum. And so it's an acceptable amount of movement, and it makes shooting a lot easier as long as you can handle it mentally.
Oh, Chris, what do you think? It looks easy for you. Are you going to jump on?
Yeah, I get about 180 heart rate just going up the stairs, so it might be a bit harder for me.
Oh, man.
Absolutely incredible. And we could be here the whole show, and in fact, we should do that sometime. Who is this group?
So Tracy and I, my twin sister and I, we volunteered to help our local law enforcement. So we put on really unique training events for them. And that was on our local coal train that goes up and over the mountains.
And here's Lanny Oakley, hard at it and incredible.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, if you don't follow her on social media, you need to, because she posts stuff like these challenges out on her range, and they are amazing. Every time I'm just like, nope, can't do that. I just watch it in amazement when she shoots and all these different things, balancing and hanging and all this, like, here you go on a unicycle, I'm just like, okay, yep, nope, can't do that. But it's quite amazing. It's amazing skill.
Hey, so Lanny, we've got less than 20 seconds left. Tell our viewers the best way to stay abreast of Lanny Oakley.
Yeah, so you can follow me on social media at Lanny Oakley or my website, lannyoakley.com. And, hope you guys go out there and just find a way of pushing yourselves and get better.
All right. Hey, well, thank you so much. We'll have you back again if you don't mind. And tell our folks, when you're out there competing, make sure they're putting their events on our calendar. Will you, Lanny?
Absolutely. And thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure.
All right. Great seeing you again.
But the one thing I can tell you about my family, it's bred into us. We're not quitters.
Facts and Firearms.
So Mantis X, I love the way Lanny and Tracy get out there and train, but you don't have to hit the slopes, do you, Grant?
No, you can train wherever you are. So the X10, for example, can be used live fire or dry fire. That's the little device that just mounts on the end of your on a pick rail, sorry. So it can be put on your magazine or it can be put onto the rail of your gun. But what I'm here to talk about today is actually our newest product, and that is the Titan X. So this is it. This is our newest product, and this one will allow you to practice anytime with a realistic trigger press, break, and reset. So it's got a realistic take up. I should probably do it with my other hand. Take up, break, and reset. It's also sending a laser downrange and collecting all the data on that movement so that you can integrate that and get good feedback without having to rack the slide every single time. So it's a fantastic training tool. We're really excited about it. It accepts a regular magazine. It comes with 2 weighted mags, but it also accepts a regular Glock magazine or PMag, whatever you're using. Currently, we have this available in 3 models that are functionally the same as a 17, 19, and a 45, but we do have other ones coming down the pipe. So the cool part is because it's got a laser and it's got all the analytics, we can now integrate both Laser Academy and the X10 app, so we can get feedback on not only your trigger press, but also your shot placement, and overlay both of those apps, or at least components of both of them, to create even more information than we were able to do before.
I'm confused. This sounds, you have so much that this works. I don't understand. Scott, maybe you can help me.
Yeah, so they sent this in for us for the show to mess around with, and the thing is, this thing is so advanced that I'm still play with it, and I'm still finding out new applications for it. From using your standard magazines to the weighted magazines that they have. These are all weighted, so you get the realistic weight of loading. But the amazing thing is the application in itself, in the stuff that you do in the application, where you can monitor all of your shots, placement, timing between shots, and everything. It will give you the absolute most accurate roadmap of what you are doing with your firearm.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. I'm just used to paper targets, but right. I guess that's a thing of the past.
Well, I mean, it doesn't replace shooting, right? So the whole point is to get out there and get shooting, but to not waste your time when you're there. So I don't know about you guys, but I grew up just kind of go into the range, even with training and coaching, you'd make a group, you'd make it smaller, and then you'd kind of move the group where you wanted it to be. So the first target was usually a throwaway. Like that was not what you want to do. You get your group, you get it where you want to be. Now you're shooting, right? So you wasted that time and you weren't really fixing the problem. You were just compensating for it. So when I first bought an X10 6 years ago now, it fixed my low. I'm left-handed, so I was shooting low right. It fixed that, and my shot placement went where I wanted to go on my first shot, and then all I had to do was work on my transitions or whatever else I wanted to work on as opposed to shot placement. And that for me was just a light bulb going off, and I actually fell in love with the company and reached out to them and ended up starting working for them. So yeah, it's really been interesting. So we've got tools for your AR. We've got tools now for training with a surrogate training tool, and then of course the X10, X3 for shooting live fire. We can do holster draw analysis. We can do dynamic drills, which means with the Titan or the Blackbeard X, you can do multiple shots on multiple targets, and it'll show you not only what you're doing wrong with your press, but now we can show you what's happening with your transitions. So it's going to show you delay time on target, over travel, the most efficient path between your targets. So basically anything that you previously could only have been able to do live fire, now you can do it dry fire as well.
Hey, just a reminder there, Grant, stay in the middle of the frame because we're losing you there.
Oh, sorry, that's right.
Yeah. And one of the really important things is it shows you exactly, it will show you exactly where your sights are going in between. So one of the most important things I found with using it is I realized when I went from target to target with using the Mantis X, I over-traveled every time. Instead of going from one target directly to the next target, I had over-traveled, then I'd swing back. And when I swing back, I do this big whole loop-de-loop thing. So when it shows you on this grid on your phone, it shows you that tracking. That's something you can think about. And I was actually able to mitigate that and tighten that up a little bit. I still over travel a little bit, but yeah, it really helps to show you exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys just showed the picture of the holster as well, because it does work with whatever holster you're using. So it's going to retain just like a regular firearm would.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I need to get one. I've been putting it off for years. Every time I go to a gun show, I see the Mantis booth, and the lady that works the booth hates to see me coming because I'm going to be playing with it for the next 20 minutes.
Well, that's what we're there for. In fact, if you're going to be at SHOT Show, we'll be in booth 11873. We have two booths, and we'll be in the NRA booth. But our main booth is 11873, right across the bridge from Caesars, on the Venetian side.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, their booth is always really cool because you get to shoot and handle them. They have targets up, and you can do a little bit of analysis right there. But it gives you a good chance to use it and see what it's going to do for you. So, I mean, it's an amazing product. I really like it.
Tell us a little bit about that app. We see it there on the screen.
Yeah, so the app pairs with Bluetooth to your phone or iPad or any Android or iOS device, tablet, phone. It's a free app because you need the device for it to work. But we update it all the time. We're always adding new features to it. Like I said, we just added the integration of adding the camera feature to it. It's not even on this video that you're showing. It's that new. And what that does is, like I said, it'll give you feedback on your trigger press. It shows you what you did before you started to break the trigger, while the trigger broke, and immediately after your follow through. So it's going to show you where that shot would have been placed and exactly what you did to cause it to not go where you thought it was going to go. And then we'll tell you corrective action that you can try to get that better.
Man.
And Chris, I don't know, do you think this is going to be legal in California? I just want to check with Chris, our resident expert on gun laws.
I think if you had a stick that was shaped like a gun, they'd probably ban it. So I don't know. I have to ask Mantis about that.
Yeah, the device itself is, of course, legal, but how you use it, that's up to you.
I've seen kids get suspended from kindergarten by pointing their finger. And so it's a common thing. Now, let's see. We don't have that. We have the audio muted here, but this lady had a very good and constructional video. Maybe you could narrate it for her.
Sure. So she's talking through some of the features. She's demonstrating that you don't have to rack the slide. It's resetting. It's sending a laser downrange. You can adjust the windage and elevation. It does come with a slide cut, so you can mount your favorite optic to it as well. So that's a nice feature that you don't see on a lot of training guns. And the other thing she's talking about is that the app is available to do holster draw analysis. The live fire app on the X10, you can also do recoil analysis. So this one, if you take it to the range with you, it's going to show you muzzle rise, recoil width, recoil angle, and recovery time. But the Titan, because it's dry fire only, is not going to do that portion, but it'll do holster draw analysis and a new addition to holster draw analysis. Previously, with holster draw analysis, you would draw, take one shot, rack it, reload, or put it back in your holster, and then do another one. With this one, because it's you can do multiple shots, we can do draw to multiple shots. So you can do a draw to a build drill, for example, or draw to a failure to stop drill, or however you want to train, which is fantastic because the draw analysis shows you exactly what happens. Like it shows you how long it takes you to get to your grip, to clear your holster, to get horizontal, to punch out and take your shot. And then the shot placement is going to show you where that shot landed. So if you can do a draw and then follow it up with multiple shots, you can see how you're performing in much more close to real life situation.
Well, Grant, I think we're going to have to leave it there, guys, because we're already over our segment. Sorry about that, guys.
I could talk all day about it.
And you can learn more at mantisx.com. Can they buy it online as well?
Absolutely. We're currently a little bit backordered on the Titan. It's been very popular, but mantisx.com or your local gun shop, call ahead and make sure they have it in stock.
All right. Hey, you folks stick around. There's more to come from Gun Stuff.
There's a kind of strength you can't buy or borrow. It's born in the fire, tempered by sacrifice, and carried by those who never stopped serving. Some heroes wear uniforms. Others wear scars. They're veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. Men and women who gave everything and still keep giving. At the Warrior Shield Foundation, we stand beside them, shoulder to shoulder, providing the support, the care, and the community they deserve. We're a proud non-profit, a 501c3, built to protect those who protect us. We don't just serve our own. We help other non-profits reach their missions too, because together, we make the Shield stronger. Donate and help our cause, help their cause, because every act of kindness builds hope where the battle still rages inside. Join the mission. Donate today. Visit warriorshield.org. Because heroes deserve a foundation as strong as their sacrifice.
Well, welcome to the show, Black Armor Guns. Now, you guys have been waiting patiently and watching me cough and everything. Tell our viewers about Black Armor, please.
Okay, thanks for having us on. We are a very small rifle company in Indian Mound, Tennessee, just outside Fort Campbell, kind of at the Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Tennessee border area. We are like a two-man shop. Chris is he's the Cerakote guy with his own company. He just works in my shop. C3 Customs is his company. And we started off building AR-15s for the operator. My son, Houston, who's 25% owner, He's a shooter on the action shooting team at the AMU down in Fort Benning, Georgia. And he called me one day and said, "Hey, Dad, let's build rifles." I was like, "Well, son, we do that anyway." He goes, "No, I want to sell them." And like an idiot, and I was like, "Okay, let's do it." Not realizing the fiery hoops I had to jump through to make that happen, you know. And since then, we apply the unit I used to be in at 5th Group. I used to be in a SIF and A15, and we apply every principle to building a rifle as if we were in Sadr City, Iraq. If a part on that gun would break or lose you a gunfight, it doesn't go on that rifle. We don't go with frilly parts that look cool and all that kind of stuff. Every part has a purpose. And secondly, which I have put ahead of everything else, is every rifle that leaves here is sub-MOA, period, or it doesn't leave the shop. Sub-MOA. Now, when we go back to that, there are certain things that equate to accuracy, and that is the barrel, you know, the ammo, the shooter, the optic. Well, I at least take the gun part out of the equation for the shooters. You know, I can't do anything about the shooter himself or the optic he chooses to put on there, but at least I can help him along by starting off with that sub-MOA gun.
Yep, and the thing is, it's amazing. Chris, I believe you're still muted, but we had a chance to see them at Legion, and they were at Legion. They had a booth set up as one of the sponsors of the race, and we had a chance to check out all their firearms. We got video of their firearms in the run and gun video itself, but the quality that goes into these builds is amazing. So, but the thing is that had me. What I thought was amazing is the sub-MOA accuracy that comes on every rifle that you guys put out.
Right. The rifle showed right now, that is what we call a cow tipper. That is our tactical lever gun. That one's in 4570. We call that the devil's caliber, the 4570. And we just started building these, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, something like that. Very popular. We were at CanCon with the first one, and it was handled a lot at CanCon. They really like it. And I think that was that up at the run and gun?
Yeah, we had that up there.
That one was up at the run and gun? Yep. So, yeah, that's another one. Now, inherent to a lever gun, that gun right there is not sub-MOA. It's not a tactical rifle. I would take the Sadr City. But that, because of, you know, barrel dynamics or harmonics and all that, that gun you'd never see a sub-MOA lever gun, to tell you the truth. But our AR rifles, I don't know if we have any pictures of those that I sent.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask Chris Kuper a question, because you're all talking about MOA, and we got some people that have just joined the shooting sports community. I'm going to ask Chris Campbell, MOA, minute of angle, explain how that works. That's a measurement of accuracy. Go ahead, Chris.
So with MOA, it basically comes down to the ability of the rifle to shoot ideally a 1-inch group at 100 yards. That's just a basic standard, kind of like horsepower in a car. You know, if you look at true horsepower, it's a lot different than, you know, what the weight of one horse can pull, kind of thing, as far as that unit of measure goes. But
so
it's just a way to
at
develop
100
accuracy.
yards. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, 1 inch at 100.
Actually, it's 1.047 inches at 100 yards.
Got all the numbers.
But who am I?
Yeah, okay. And sometimes you can't find that on off-the-shelf
There
guns.
we go. Oh, no, you will not find that on on-the-shelf guns. And this one here, this gun here you're showing is called our door kicker. This is our operator rifle right here in 16-inch. I'm a big fan of 16-inch guns. And let's go back to that MOA for a second. When we shoot or determine MOA on one of our rifles, it's not one of us sitting behind the gun on an optic and shooting it 5 times at 100 yards, because there's so many other things that get in the way of that. I have a sled that I clamp the gun into, and then at 100 yards, and then I pull the trigger 5 times. And that's how I determine if my gun is sub-MOA or not. Does that make sense?
So it's all clamped in.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I take the shooter, the optic, and all the other equations, my heartbeat when I'm shooting a gun. You can literally see my heartbeat in the optic. I take all that out of the equation, and it's purely the gun shooting is sub-MOA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one of the things is well, you see AR-15s, so many companies make them, and it's really hard for anyone to be able to look. You can't look at an AR-15 and say this one is a sub-MOA gun. So, you have to have trust in the builder and in the company that made it. But then also they have to go through all the rigorous process of finding the right parts, making the right parts to make that gun work together. And I appreciate you guys doing that. That's great.
Yeah, it's a beautiful gun.
Yeah, and we got some cool videos here too.
Yeah, that is Jimmy Adams on our range that we have here with his, that we had just presented that gun to him, and he was sitting there zeroing it, and he's like, well, this is the easiest gun I ever zeroed in my life.
No kidding.
Yeah. We also have a couple other models. Another one's called the Champion. It is modeled after my son's rifle down at Fort Benning, Georgia at the AMU. Mm-hmm. It is indeed sub-MOA. It was 0.3 MOA. That's him shooting right there. Just and he's actually shooting a Champion that Richard there had bought. And this is him shooting this Champion right here. That gun is a purely competition gun. That gun is not a Solder City rifle. If everybody understands what I mean by that, that is purely for competition. Works great. Another one we have is called the TAC Cab. That's our truck gun. Comes in a 7.5-inch barrel, folding stock, the whole nine. And what was the other one? Oh, the Recce. And we have one in 6 ARC. That 6 ARC is the new hotness right now for everybody. That is our longer range rifle, and again, one of those operator level type rifles, if that makes sense.
I got a question for you on the 6 ARC. So I'm recently on the 6 ARC bandwagon myself, and what is it about that round that you guys decided to build a rifle on that?
The fact that I can keep it in my AR-15 platform instead of bumping up to AR-10, larger frame.
Yep.
We don't have a lot of bandwidth here at this company. I have enough bandwidth to develop and build my own lowers and uppers for AR-15, but jumping to AR-10 is a massive jump as far as being able to afford that. So I like the fact that shooters can still keep an AR-15 platform and take that lower, put it on another gun, or put it on their 6 ARC or 6 Max, either one of those, as opposed to having to jump to that 308 level gun.
So Byron, you've been watching long enough to know we run to the end of this pretty quickly. How can people learn more about Black Armor Guns?
It's easy, blackarmorguns.us. We are on the Instagrams too, black_armor_guns. C3 Customs Tennessee is on there also. And I think I'm on the Facebooks. I don't remember.
All right.
But blackarmorguns.us, you'll find everything.
All right, and we'll have you back here on Gun Stuff again, too. Thank you so much for coming in today. Scott, thanks for finding these guys. And they're not too far from you. In the great state of Tennessee and Kentucky, right on the border there. We appreciate that. Hey, stick around. There's more to come.
The headrest safe is quick and easy to use. Some may even call it a game changer. The headrest safe acts as a safety net, protecting your belongings while keeping them out of sight and out of bounds of others, serving as security while also keeping your valuables in bounds. That's what the headrest safe provides for me. Game, set, match.
Thanks for watching. Next week on Gun Stuff, Vantac is going to be here. I've already seen some of their media. They got fantastic products, the Scope Bumper, and also Liberty Ammo. That's all coming to you next week here on Gun Stuff.